Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear brothers and sisters, have you ever wondered what happened after Adam alayhi salam left this world? What was life like for the first generations of humanity? How did people worship Allah after the first prophet? And how did sin begin to spread among mankind? Today, we explore the fascinating story of Sheesh alayhi salam, the righteous son of Adam alayhi salam, and the events that many Islamic historians and traditional narratives associate with the earliest generations of humanity. Let's begin. When Allah created Adam alayhi salam, He made him the first human and the first prophet. Adam taught his children about Tawheed, the worship of Allah alone. He taught them obedience, gratitude, and righteousness. For many years, humanity lived under the guidance of Adam alayhi salam. But eventually, every soul must taste death. As Adam alayhi salam approached the end of his life, he entrusted leadership to his son Sheesh alayhi salam, known in English as Seth. According to many Islamic historical narrations, Sheesh alayhi salam was among the most righteous and knowledgeable of Adam's children. His very name carries the meaning of a gift because he was born after the tragic death of Habil alayhi salam, the righteous son who was murdered by his brother Qabil. The story of Habil and Qabil had already shown humanity its first major crime, murder. But the trials of mankind were only beginning. Sheesh alayhi salam inherited the responsibility of guiding people toward Allah. He reminded them of the teachings of their father Adam alayhi salam. He encouraged worship, honesty, modesty, and obedience to Allah. For a time, many people followed the path of righteousness. But Shaytan had not given up. The same enemy who deceived Adam alayhi salam was still determined to mislead humanity. According to traditional Islamic historical reports, the descendants of Adam lived in different communities. Some lived in elevated regions and were known for their piety and modesty. Others lived in lower regions and gradually became more attracted to worldly pleasures. Shaytan saw an opportunity. He knew that if he could not immediately lead people into major sins, he would start with smaller temptations. This is one of the greatest lessons for us today. Rarely does Shaytan begin by inviting people to huge sins. Instead, he begins with something that appears harmless, a small distraction, a small compromise, a small step away from Allah, then another and another, until a person finds themselves far from the path they once followed. According to some early narrations, Shaytan inspired people to create musical instruments and gatherings of entertainment. Now it is important to understand something. The Quran does not specifically describe this event, and scholars have differed regarding the details. However, many traditional historical accounts mention that gatherings of amusement began attracting people away from remembrance of Allah. What began as entertainment eventually became mixed with vanity, temptation, and disobedience. Young people from righteous communities became curious. They traveled to these gatherings. They saw things they had never seen before. They heard sounds that fascinated them. They became distracted from worship. Gradually, barriers of modesty began to weaken. People who once focused on pleasing Allah started focusing on pleasing their desires. The problem was not simply sound or celebration itself. The real danger was forgetting Allah. The real danger was when entertainment became a door leading toward temptation and sin. This is exactly how Shaytan operates. He rarely attacks faith directly.
Instead, he distracts people little by little until their hearts become occupied with everything except Allah. As generations passed, more people drifted away from the teachings of Adam a.s. and Sheesh a.s. The righteous continued to call people back, but many preferred worldly pleasures. This pattern has repeated throughout human history. Every prophet came with the same message: worship Allah alone, obey Him, do not follow Shaytan. And every generation faced the same choice. Will they follow revelation, or will they follow their desires? The story of Sheesh a.s. reminds us that the struggle between truth and temptation did not begin in modern times. It began with the earliest generations of mankind. Even those who lived close to the time of Adam a.s. were tested. Even they faced distractions. Even they faced the whispers of Shaytan. And if they were tested, then surely we will be tested as well. Today, our distractions may look different. Instead of ancient gatherings, we have endless screens. Instead of simple temptations, we face temptations 24 hours a day. Yet Shaytan's strategy remains exactly the same. He wants people distracted. He wants hearts attached to temporary pleasures. He wants believers to become forgetful of Allah. This is why remembering Allah is so important. This is why prayer is so important. This is why reading the Quran is so important. Every act of worship strengthens the heart against the whispers of Shaytan. The story of Sheesh a.s. is ultimately not a story about the past. It is a story about us. It asks a simple question: what is occupying our hearts today? Are we moving closer to Allah, or are we allowing distractions to pull us away? The righteous son of Adam a.s. spent his life guiding people back to their Creator. His message remains relevant even thousands of years later. Stay firm upon Tawheed. Stay connected to Allah. Do not allow temporary pleasures to make you forget your eternal destination. Because every generation faces its test, and every generation must decide which path it will follow. May Allah make us among those who follow the path of the prophets, remain firm upon faith, and resist the whispers of Shaytan. Ameen. If you benefited from this reminder, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others so more people can learn about the early history of humanity through an Islamic perspective. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.